on YouTube? It's James with CornerHammer Fantasy Battle Reports. I got another battle report for you today. It is CornerHammer round number 2, 2019. And as you guys can see, this little picture here with say the Lion James. Somebody actually made this in the UK chat. It was passed down to me, probably as somebody was making fun of me, but whatever. I still like it. I think it's a great freaking little thing that people are making things about me, meme about me. Anyways, today is still day 1. There was a 3-hour gap. I want to say it was a 3-hour gap in between the first game and the second game, just so you could go to across the street to Adepticon. And as you can see, here's some pictures of Adepticon. This is a rock band that is all orcs. And I actually got their card, but there's plenty of stuff. Me and Joel Flint went around Adepticon to check it out. He's never seen it before, but as you can see, here's a couple of the, like, this is like a display board that's there. There was a bunch of shit there. I just didn't take that many pictures, but yeah, it's just it's quite a sight to see. If you haven't been to Adepticon, it's an actual convention that has just like a bunch of rooms that have different games every room. But CornerHammer was made specifically because Adepticon did not allow us to get back in there 2 years ago. So as a counter for that, we ended up making Len and Jeremy Gottschalk ended up making an event across the street, which is now called CornerHammer, because we were put in the corner. Now for my second round opponent is actually against a Team ETC UK player, so Team England, and this is Mr. Adam Tonka. Mr. Adam Tonka, I don't have a picture of him, but I have a very blurry picture of his army here. It looks like he's playing Dread Elves, but he's not playing Dread Elves. He's actually playing, I'm sorry, it looks like he's playing Sylvan Elves, but he's not playing Sylvan Elves, he's playing Dread Elves, excuse me, blah, blah, blah. Because his army is very multi-use there. As you can see, here's an overview of his whole army. Now, we're going to go over what he has and more or less why he deployed the way he deployed. And on the left, you can see he has a bolt thrower. In the back, he has a bolt thrower. Now he has a MSU army. Now he has a bunch of these small units of Dread Judges. He has I think 3 or 4 units of Dread Judges, but there are only 10 guys in each unit. He also has a couple units which are the Dryads, but the Dryads are Dancers of Yema, I want to say they're called. Which is the ones that can switch weapons and all that. Then he has 2 units of the Raiders, the ones on horses. Then he has a big block of just Legionnaires. They're just guys with spears. They do have a banner that gives them something. I don't really have it. Now the big Tree Father in the background, that's actually his BSB, the Divine Altar. And then over on this side over here, he has another unit of 2 units of those horse guys and more units of he has a unit of harpies, a couple units of judges, and a couple units of dancers of Yema. Now, as you can see, he deployed pretty far back, and the main reason is he really doesn't have any shooting. He does have an Oracle, and the Oracle did have the essence of the free mind, so he was able to choose between alchemy and witchcraft, and he chose to go with alchemy because my general is running around without a fire save, right? But basically, when he chose alchemy, that kind of changes the fact that a lot of his stuff does close combat, and the witchcraft might have been able to help him out better in those situations. So we'll see how it goes. Now we are playing the 3 points, which are the spoils of war. And I want to say we're playing maybe classic battle line. If not, we're playing big center, big sides. Maybe that. Guys, there's a shy ambulance coming. But he deployed further back just because he knows I beat him in the range game, and I'm going to let that ambulance go by so I don't have to talk over it. He played further back because he knows I have the range advantage. I have at least 60 bows and 2 Doom Divers and Pyromancy. So he's basically I deployed like this, where my general and my wizard are behind the building just so I don't get shot by bolt throwers turn 1, or I don't get hit by alchemy. I'm far out of range. But more or less, I put my savages on the right side, and I just said fuck it, they're going to take that spoil over on that side, and basically nobody's going to really contest that giant block of savages. And that's how I thought about it over there. On this side over here, I'm really just playing for the middle scenario. If I ignore the one on the left, take the one on the right for the savages, and then just focus on the middle with everything else, I'll be able to take 2 objectives and win the scenario. So that's what I'm trying to do. And it looks like I might have took turn 1. Yeah, I took turn 1. So we're going to go over turn 1, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 1. As you can see, this is how the table looks after turn 1. I really didn't move too much. I did move the savages up because they're not really threatened. And I kept my general and the wizard behind the building, like I said, just so I don't get shot by bolt throwers turn 1. What I am going to try to do is snipe out the bolt throwers systematically. Take out the one on the right, then the one in the middle, and then the one in the left corner. Not only that, but where my general is, the one on the left corner cannot even hit my general. Maybe could hit the K-Pack, but the K-Pack really, I didn't really have a great use for them, even though it would be great to just bounce off all this MSU. I don't feel like they need to be out there without the general's bubble. And then I'm keeping my 2 units of chaff close to the BSB in general. The ones that are in danger of being popped are actually my squigs, if he decides to move up towards my squigs. The one mistake I made with the squigs is I left them 10 wide because I put them on display for the paint judging, and I forgot to drop them back down to 8 wide. So they're 10 wide right now, and I'm a little bit like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to hold ranks and blah blah blah. You'll see. Anyways, magic turn 1, I got the 1 flux, and which is fine with me because I really don't care if I got the 1 flux. I'm just gonna go ahead and do like a fireball, and like everything's really out of range, so I just go ahead and I do a fireball, and then I do like a 3 dice comet, and he stops one, and the other one just doesn't go off. So shooting over here, my goblins with bows, the bazooka and the horde, are gonna go ahead and shoot into his Heath Riders here, or whatever they're called. Not Heath Riders. What are they called? The Corsair. Reaper crossbow guys, I don't know, but I go ahead and I wipe him out. I do all 5 wounds, and he's like, shit. And basically that's a sign for the freaking army. I mean, like, that's showing me my potential with the bow shots killing off his MSU. I'm gonna go ahead and do a doom diver into his freaking bolt thrower. Does 3 wounds and leaves it there. It's gonna start off turn 1. Dread Elves turn 1. As you can see, he goes ahead and he moves his other unit of riders into the grassy fields to get some cover from the shooting. I'm not too worried about them coming up. He has another one on the left side gonna go around the impassable terrain, excuse me. And then he has the 2 Dread Judge units coming up the left. He has the Spear unit coming up the middle. He has his BSB coming up the middle, and then everything else is kind of making a bubble around the freaking Pyromancy. He's trying to avoid the Pyromancy as much as possible. He's going to use his crossbow shots into the K-Pack, does 2 wounds, and then he goes ahead and shoots into my dogs, does a wound. But that's all his shooting, really. This guy over here shoots into my K-Pack, kills off one of them. And that's about it. It's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins. Turn 2, Orcs and Goblins. My savages run up, grab the objective. They're great. The one thing I'm afraid of, just the one thing I'm afraid of, is getting flanked by the dancers. And then he has this ward save, and he'll have 2 ranks. And if he just gets lucky, I'm going to be stuck. So I'm trying not to give up any flanks to my savages, of course. And really, I'm just trying to get my Pyromancy Wizard Baxter into the flank and just start lighting shit up. But right now where Baxter and my general are pretty safe, I want to say, and I'm just using cover from my other units from his crossbow fire to my chaff. So I'm just using my other units to like screen the fire, and I'm just gonna keep my range where I'm at. The one thing I'm afraid of in the middle is my bazooka and the horde are not going to be able to hold steadfast in the forest, so I am very aware of that, but I'm just trying to keep range away from him and just shoot into him as much as possible. Magic, I ended up getting whatever that is, like a 7 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a Hand of Heaven, only kills off one of these guys. Go ahead and I do a Fireball, kills off this bastard. Go ahead and I do a Pyroclastic Flow here, kills off like 4 of them. And then I go ahead and I do a Doom Diver, and it kills the other fucking bolt thrower. 2 bolt throwers down, 2 repeater bolt throwers down in one turn. I'm going to shoot these guys into the rest of the riders here, and they only kills off 2 more. And then my freaking K-Pack shoots into the other riders on the left side, kills off only 1. The freaking bazooka and the horde end up shooting into his judges, killing off 6 of them. Holy shit. This is exactly why he was staying back. This is exactly why. That was just like a hell of a lot of shooting power. It's going to start off his turn, turn 2, Dread Elves. So he charges here into my K-Pack, and I'm just gonna have to take it like a champ, hoping he's pretty weak. Strength 3 to my T4. Hopefully I could do some do more wounds to him than he does to me, but just hold the charge, because if he gets into the flank of my squigs, I don't think my general's close enough to keep the freaking them from blowing up. But he's going ahead and he just does this aggressive push and walks right into my face of my squigs and my bazooka and the horde, and I don't think I could avoid it. I could chaff him just a little bit, but not much. Over here, what was this? Looks like a dead unit. Was that a panicked unit? I don't even know what this picture was. Whatever. Over here, his wizard, his oracle, starts to do 2 damage onto my general. I think he did a what's that called? The freaking molten metal, Quicksilver Lash, and does 2 wounds onto my general, which does hurt. Over here, close combat, he ends up doing 3 wounds to my K-Pack, but my K-Pack actually kills them. Oh my god! The fucking K-Pack just ate the freaking riders, and it gives me a quick turnaround and charge. It's gonna start off turn 3, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. I don't think I charged with anything. I might have charged with the K-Pack. We'll see in a second. Was this a charge? I don't even know what the hell this picture was. Anyways, it doesn't look like I have much pictures on movement. Let's go straight into shooting. So apparently nothing happened in magic. Shooting, I'm going to shoot the Doom Diver into his BSB, does a wound. And yeah, that's all that really happened on this turn 3. It doesn't look like I have pictures of magic. It doesn't have pictures of close combat. So yeah, his turn 3. Dread Elves, turn 3. He charges. As you can see, I chaffed with my dogs, and that's probably why there was no pictures, because I was thinking about this so long and hard. I chaffed with my dogs, both his BSB and his spearmen. So he's gonna have to charge into my dogs here and here, right? As you can see, my K-Pack just turned around. I don't really know why I didn't charge, or if I did charge, he might have fled with something, and that might have happened. So he counter charges. I think that's what happened, because he counter charges into my chariots, which couldn't redirect because they were outside of the general bubble. So that's all the charges right here. As you can see, he charges his dancers on the right side into my goblins over here, and then everything's gonna get in. Of course, it wasn't that far. Magic, he got a 3 on the flux, goes ahead. Don't really have what he had put up here, but the way my squigs are, they're just so wide that I'm not going to be able to maximize the number of attacks, or I am going to maximize the number of attacks, but once he kills out the back row, it's going to be harder to do more attacks, especially in horde formation, because I'm not utilizing my bodies in the proper form. Over here, he's just going to kill out my dogs. Over here, he does kill out the K-Pack. He faces the flank of my squigs. And then over here, my he did 1 wound out to my goblins. Now, my goblins do have parry, but he does have the option of taking extra hand weapons to ignore the parry, to hit me on 2s and wound me on 4s, which I think he did, but he only did 1 wound. My goblins, my regular fucking goblins, go back and they do 3 wounds back to the fucking dancers of Yema, and they win combat. And I don't even think he runs. I think he just stays, but it's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins, turn 4. Orcs and Goblins, turn 4. I'm going to charge the savages into these fucking harpies because they're in my way. And I think that's about it. His dancers did run. As you can see, my goblins stayed where they're at. They're walking towards the objective. I actually just decided to stay where I'm at, not charge them, because I don't want to get counter-charged. Now, as you can see in the middle, I reformed my goblin horde, bazooka and the horde, to be 5 wide, bus formation. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand in front of his giant spear block. My general's going to come out a little bit more. Now, the one thing I did do is since he doesn't really have shooting, he has one magic missile, I think. So both my BSB and my wizard walked out the unit, and they're just gonna go ahead and just rain down magic and Mazazappa bow into whatever the hell they want. You know, because I could just walk around for free. As you can see on the right side, my the top right corner, my Baxter the Pyromaniac's free as well, and he's just trying. I put him on a mission to kill his general, which is the Oracle, and we'll see how that goes. As for magic's first thing I do is I go ahead and do a Pyroclastic Flow, and I wipe out a good chunk of the judges. It looks like I killed about like 6 judges. No, it looks like I only killed a couple judges, but I did a Fireball. I did a Scorching Salvo. That's what it was. I did a Scorching Salvo. It ends up doing a couple wounds onto the judges here. Now, the problem is he only has 3 judges and his Oracle left. I go ahead and I do a Fireball. I have to divvy up how many hits go to each character. I end up doing 2 wounds onto his Oracle on accident, and I think I only killed one of his freaking judges, which was just hilarious to me. But with the Pyro Flow I get off, I end up just wiping out his general entirely. One of his judges lives, one of the judges panics and runs, but I killed his general with this, which puts my Baxter on a huge lead for MVP, but we'll see how that goes. Over here, my Doom Diver misfires. The other Doom Diver looks like it hit a couple of the judges, does a couple wounds. He did pick up the objective with this unit of judges, so I do have to kill this unit. Over here, these guys are going to continue shooting into the judges, it looks like. Kill off a couple more judges. Actually kills them all off, holy shit, and drops the objective, and it's going to start off his turn 4. Turn 4, he charges here into Baxter, which I was like, shit, why didn't I see this? It is a far charge, but if he does connect, he is going to kill Baxter. If I run through the building, the worst I could take is 3 wounds, and I'll be able to live, but he doesn't have range, and my guy will rally, so I decided to do that. I do run through the building, and I do take 2 wounds from dangerous terrain. He is going to charge his spear unit into my goblins. He is going to charge his dancers into the flank of my squigs that were able to reform and hold. I haven't done another wound to the BSB. The BSB is just going to tank it out, of course. And as you can see, my like I said, this picture right here, the Baxter does take 2 wounds from the DTs. Let's see. Close combat over here, he just destroys a shit ton of my squigs. I mean, a shit ton of my squigs. My squigs only do 1 wound back into his dancers of Yema. I'm gonna lose combat. I'm gonna blow up, and when I blow up, I don't even think I take anybody really with me. Over here, my goblins, what are they called? The Shady Gets end up doing 3 wounds to him. He does a shit ton of wounds back, but I'm able to hold a steadfast, and it's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 5. Orcs and Goblins turn 5. All the motherfucking counter charges. My general's going in. My freaking squad is going in. My squad of 20 Goblins with bows has done so much in this game. It's ridiculous. They're killing units with bows. They're helping with flank charges. There's just an all-around utility piece right now. My Doom Diver is acting as chaff. I actually decided that I'm gonna lose, or I'm gonna be stuck there, and if I get stuck there, that the dancers would be able to charge into the flank of my my bazooka and the horde. So I decided to just move the Doom Diver in the way, so he really can't get a charge off into bazooka and the horde. Yeah, let's see. Close combat over here. No, we're gonna go into magic. Magic, I got a cleansing fire off on my general. Go ahead into close combat. Close combat, my savages just wiped the living shit out of the freaking dancers of Yema. It was just like no contest. He did about like 3 or 4 wounds, and I just wiped them off the table. They deleted. I killed everyone, even their mothers. They freaking won't have any of their kids tell tales of their story because there's just none left. Over here, he did fail a fear check, which was huge. This was huge. He failed a fear check, and it allows my goblins to beat the crap out of him. And my goblins do a good job of killing, like maybe roughly 11 guys. He runs. Now, if I was to chase with both units, I think I chased with 1 and my general, and I left the 1 unit behind because the 1 unit has to target his BSB. I think I was more afraid of the fact that if he got into my flank or whatever, so with his BSB I might lose it. So I just decided to chase with 2 units. He gets away. He rolls like 11 or 12 and gets away. It's going to start off his turn. Dread Elves turn 4. Dread Elves turn 4. He charges here with his BSB into my Bazooka into Horde, which is Bazooka-less right now because Bazooka's chilling outside the unit. He charges his Dancers into my Squig, into my Doom Diver, gets in with both. Over here, he does rally with his remaining spears, which kind of sucks because I needed them to die. And his other judges over here are going to go ahead and come on closer. This bolt thrower is actually in range, and this is the one thing I was like, shit. I put myself in range of this one bolt thrower that's been alive the whole game, hasn't done anything, hasn't shot anything, and he's going to go ahead and shoot a late shot into my general. If he does kill my general here, he fucking wins the game, and he fucking whiffs. Oh my god, my fucking heart dropped. I was like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, he could do it, he could do it, he could do it, and he just fucking, he gets the hit, but he fails to wound, and I was just like, oh my god, that was too damn close. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. Over here, close combat, he's just gonna kill my my Doom Diver. And up there against my Goblins, he just kills a bunch. I think he already killed off each of the Shady Goods, so he's just going to go ahead and start killing me. And it's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 6. Orcs and Goblins turn 6. It looks like I went straight into Pyromancy. What I did here was I ended up not charging my Goblins. I think I took the objective away, but basically I just have to hold it, and what I'm trying to do is just thin out whatever I'm going to fight. So I'm going to go ahead and do Pyroclastic Flow into the big unit. Kills off a good chunk of the big unit. Go ahead and I do a Doom Diver into that small unit, wipes out the small unit, hoping for a panic. Nothing really happens, but I'm going to waste the rest of my bow shots, the rest of my Pyromancy, the rest of everything, and kill off that fucking unit of spears. And I left literally 2 guys left, and he's like, shit, you lucky bastard. Over here, close combat, he just keeps on wiping out my freaking Goblins, but my Goblins are still steadfast. Over here, he's going to make 2 charges. This is the end of the game. This is the end of the game. This is his turn 6. If he could get into my Goblins and steal the objective, I think he gets the objective. Because he should have 1 objective on the left side. Which could just switch it over. He is charging that unit of 2 guys into my general, though. I think... I don't even know why. I think it was just... No. I think he was trying to squeeze into my wizard that's in between the general and the squad. He fails that charge. He fails both charges, and basically that's it. That's the end of the game. Over here, he ends up killing off 4 of my guys, but I'm able to hold steadfast, and it's a huge victory for CornerHammer here. Holy shit! Against Team England's guy, I freaking pull out a massive victory. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. I was like, what the hell happened? Now, granted, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys and upfront with you guys. I kind of... So before the game, multiple players were like, "Oh shit, you're fighting somebody from freaking Team England," and my initial thought was, "Oh shit!" But then I was like, I kind of feel like my list has the advantage because he has only MSU close combat. He doesn't have a ranged game, and I honestly told him this after the end of the game. I was surprised he didn't take Witchcraft. I know my general does have the weakness to alchemy, but I also had a binding scroll, which I'm pretty sure I used to make sure my general didn't die randomly. Besides that, it was just like, it really came out to, can I outshoot him before he gets into my face? Having the 2 units of chaff really helped, so I was able to slow him down in multiple spots in 1 turn. And not only that, but just being able to shoot that much shooting and Pyromancy in. MVP, you guys really won't believe it. It should be Baxter the Pyromaniac, and I'll explain why. Baxter the Pyromaniac has 1,100 points, 1,128 points of damage. That was his general, several units, several war machines, 1,100 points, right? But the one that I am giving the MVP to is actually the squad. And the squad only took about 500 points, 482 to be honest, which is the second highest amount in the whole game, alright? But the squad is only worth 180 points. The squad is only worth 180 points. Not even, I think like 160. So the squad took almost triple the amount of its point value back and held on to the objective, and that is why the squad is getting MVP. It is the cheapest unit I probably have besides the damn dogs, and it did almost the most amount of damage. It was always in the right place at the right time, had flank charges, had freaking counter charges, had got charged, repelled Dancers of Yema, freaking shot the crap out of whatever was in front of it, was using screens with the Dancers of Yema. That squad unit was on fire, and that is why it earned the MVP, even though Baxter took the most amount of points in the game, and probably the squad would not be able to compete the way it did without Baxter, but I'm still giving the MVP to Baxter. Yeah, everything else you can see, it should be scrolling up right now. Bazooka and the Horde did take a good chunk of points besides that, 471. The Doom Divers did take 460, which that was a good game for the Doom Divers as well. Savages only took 308. Now, Baxter is taking first place right now in total points. He's kind of running away with it. The Savages and Bazooka and the Horde are taking like second place, pretty close, neck and neck. Alright, for the game itself, I think I want to say I took 17 points, maybe 18. Let's see, maybe 19. I don't really remember. What is that called? War score. Let's see. Do I have this page up already? Yeah, I did. Uh-oh. Come on. View this player, which is me. I took 17 points, so my opponent did take 3 points, which was kind of a shocker for him. He didn't think he was going to take that many points, but it really wasn't in his favor, to be honest, and I'm just kind of happy that I had a good game 2. Puts me up pretty high on game 3. Game 3, I'm going to go ahead and fight David Meacham, which is a New Zealand guy, which this is awesome. This is awesome at CornerHammer that I fought. Yeah, the last guy was from, like, what, Minnesota? But the next guy was from the UK, and the following guy is from New Zealand, and the following guy is like some French guy from somewhere else, or Italian, I don't know, French or Italian. I think it's Italian. And then I fight Nick from Wisconsin. But besides that, it was interesting to play people from other countries that came out to CornerHammer to support this game. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I can't believe this game was in such a good favor for me. I kind of feel like this was just a rebound from such a bad U.S. Master showing. So coming to CornerHammer and showing big was pretty good. But so far I like the list. It's doing pretty solid. And I think I'm going to hold on to this list for another tournament or two and see how it goes. But there's a couple of minor changes I made for the Wicked GT, which is coming up this next week. Hopefully I can get another game recorded before then. But anyways, we'll see how that goes. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy this. I enjoyed making it. Please hit like, share, subscribe, and if you guys would like to show further donations, you can always go to my Patreon and donate. Anything would be mucho appreciated. Anyways, guys, until next time, take care and peace.